That's true. I did survive. So I did wake up with 6 abs this morning. So
Proud of you.
I no longer have 8, but now I have 6.
6 is great.
And it's only in the morning, not all day now. But that's still something.
To get on the GHC.
Jeez Louise. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to With That Being Said. We're just going to jump right in here. No strategy, Morgan. Just go with the flow, okay? We have a very special guest with us today, Miss Monét Pitcher. Did I say that correctly?
Yes.
Fantastic. We also have with us our content creation manager. It's different every time. Miss Sarah Altabello. And I am the mayor of Rouville, Bradley Schneller.
Once again, another new title.
Mayor of Rouville. I like it. Well, I decided that more encompasses everything that I do.
You need that'll go on another bracelet.
I like that. I've always wanted to be the mayor of something, and now I'm finally the mayor of something.
Yeah.
I wanted to be the
Self-appointed.
mayor of New Orleans, but I feel...
Do you?
No, I do. 100%
Yeah.
do. But I feel like people would try to drag me.
Try. Yes.
I'm very vocal on Twitter. But I stand behind all my tweets. So there is that. I would just be totally open. And I feel like I would want to go into a press conference with a Lululemon polo and some tight commission pants or something like that. And be like, what, you guys don't work out?
You would do that, or you would show up in a Zion jersey.
Something like that. Something to get the people talking. So, speaking about talking, all right, I wanted to have Morgan on the show today because Morgan is a former CrossFit Games competitor, in addition to being an OG CrossFitter. And by OG CrossFitter, I've been doing it for a decade.
Yes.
Right? So she's got some big experience in terms of where CrossFit was, where CrossFit is today. So let's get rolling, though. Morgan, give us a little bit of background information on you. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Austin, Texas.
Oh,
Yeah.
keep it weird.
Yeah. And I started, my background was I played sports my whole life.
Which sport?
Started out with 9 years of gymnastics,
Oh, shit.
2 years of competitive ice skating, and...
Wait, you didn't know the ice skating part?
I didn't know the ice
Isn't that
skating
cool?
part. Who was your favorite ice skater growing up?
At the time, it was Michelle Kwan.
Michelle Kwan.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
She's a figure skater, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I had a bit... Okay, so first of all, I thought all the figure skaters were super hot growing up. That's who I was checking out when I was a kid. So, big fan of all those girls. Michelle Kwan, too. Who was the speed skater, though, with the massive legs? She was awesome. She was a gold medalist. She fell, came back in, still won. Does anybody remember her name?
I don't remember, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
I'll look it up while we're doing that. All right, so ice skater,
skating,
figure
yeah.
skating. Okay, interesting. Keep going.
And then in middle school, I played all the sports, basketball, track, volleyball. I also did softball, little league, and kickball. Kickball is real important.
Post-college?
No, this was middle school.
Oh, okay. So not for real.
Then I got into volleyball. I played club through high school, played some intramural volleyball in college, and then that led me to CrossFit my junior year of college.
Oh.
So how did you get involved with CrossFit? Was it a friend? Was there a gym nearby?
Yeah, there was a friend of a friend who was a trainer, David DeLeon. He owns Of the Lion Fitness in Austin now, but we just worked out in his garage at the rental house he was renting at the time, which just so happened to have a pool, and he had an air bike. So that was my first interaction with, or combining the strength and conditioning with swimming and the bike.
Okay.
That's cool.
Very cool. Very cool. Tell me about, so this is off topic and I'm totally meandering here, but one of the most interesting things about you is your your work with Ralph Lauren.
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about that? How'd you get into that? What exactly did you do?
So when I was in college, I interned at Ralph Lauren. My school has a Center for Retail Studies because we didn't have a fashion school at Texas A&M. And so I went with the group to New York one summer, the retail studies group, and we met with Ralph Lauren and a couple of other companies. And I just kept calling Ralph Lauren over and over again for an interview, for an internship. And so lo and behold, I ended up with one in HR for summer.
HR.
Yeah, HR. And then
Super.
yeah. And then once I graduated college, again, I just continued to hammer at my contacts, and I ended up with a 6-month receptionist job and worked my way into merchandising because my long-term goal at the time was to own my own retail store, and I thought merchandising would be the best way to do that.
Do you mean to tell me that you just don't graduate from college and get a job in the exact thing you want, making the amount of money?
Yeah, exactly.
You have to stair step up? Wow.
Yeah.
You hear that, kids? It doesn't work like that. You got to put in your time.
You have to hustle.
This all reminds me of the good Dr. Burke's shirt about hustle over talent.
Hustle over talent.
Yeah.
I mean,
But it's true.
Yeah, definitely. And, it's funny. I've actually seen that in the NBA bubble. I've been watching a lot of basketball games since my surgery. And there are teams that just flat out hustle more than the other teams, and they win. I think to be a champion, you have to have hustle plus talent.
Yes.
You cannot do it on hustle alone.
Right.
However, if you're both talented to a certain level and you out hustle someone else, it's game over. So, what kind of retail store do you want to own?
Well, that's no longer a goal of mine, but it was
probably good.
I just wanted to have women's clothing, really, like one of the boutiques here around in New Orleans. There are a lot of
You
those.
still can do that.
I could do.
We
that.
can make that happen.
And I feel like this is great for Bradley and his love of fashion. But I remember you telling me about all of this in the gym and being really surprised that that was what your background is in. And then May hosted an event at Angelique, and we went, and you came and you were in real clothes, and I was like, I see it now.
I could tell by all the cute clothes that she posts on Instagram.
That's true.
So
That she makes. by the
Morgan
way.
makes clothes. Okay, so not only is she a super athlete who also dabbles in figure skating, but she makes clothes.
She has an Etsy store.
Did you teach yourself, or did someone teach you?
Well, my mom made a lot of my clothes and our ice skating competition clothes growing up. So I think a lot of that was just watching her. And then there's a lot of content on YouTube. If I had a question, I would just Google it or look it up on YouTube, and there it was. So
I just had a thought for our next Halloween party,
What?
if we ever have one again, is we should be a theme. It should be like dress like an Olympic athlete.
I mean, that would be cool.
And we could dress like
Your
figure
different event.
skaters.
we could.
I'm filibustering here, y'all. Total side note. I have dear friends that own an apartment in the Quarter, and they do it big for Mardi Gras. I've told you about them.
We can do it for
And
Mardi Gras.
They have all of these costumes. They own the dance company I used to work with. And you can go in Mardi Gras Day, pick out your costume, go party, and come back at the end of the day and put it up. They had a friend who was a professional figure skater, and they have all of her old costumes.
That's
Wow.
awesome.
That's cool.
So
I feel like it would do well for my butt because I don't really have a butt, but a figure skating costume would make me look like I have a butt.
true.
If you all want to know a secret, for those of you out there who don't have a butt, okay, and look, I do all the hip thrust. I could do more hip thrusts. It's definitely more weighted hip thrusts, but I try to do a lot. Everybody knows I squat and deadlift with the best of them. And by the best of them, I mean I might not do it often enough. Obviously, I don't lift as heavy as most of you out there. But anyway, I mean, more than most of you, but not the upper. Actually, you guys know what I mean. But anyway, if you roll your shorts 2 or 3 times, it tightens up the backside and makes you look like you have a booty. So when we play the game at the gym, guess how many times my shorts are rolled? There's a reason. It's not just to show off my quads.
It's for the booty.
It's for the booty. So
That's my favorite question when you
good
come
to
back
know.
from track practice. It's how many times the
How many
shorts are
times?
rolled.
often, a lot.
It's
So
usually 3.
sweet.
Continue.
So Do you still have some aspirations in fashion?
I do enjoy the fashion world. I enjoy learning about it. But I do enjoy the technology side as well.
What's the technology side? I don't know what the technology side is.
Well, so right now I'm actually doing, in addition to everything else, I have a part-time job where I work for a software startup company.
Yeah, okay. I don't know.
Is
Congrats.
that works with fashion designers to basically democratize all the information, and you can follow a style from the SKU setup, so the 6 to 10 digit number, and you can follow that through all the way to selling and sell through and that sort of thing. You can track it through this software.
That is cool.
So it's basically taking all of the teams out of Excel, because each team typically has a million Excel documents. No one really knows which one is valid,
right.
Which becomes problematic in selling meetings and production meetings and that sort of thing. So when you have one database that stores all of that information and that is automatically updated through the company's production software, then there's really no question about what is right and what is wrong.
So this makes it seem like this makes it a lot easier from the business side of the fashion world, right?
Yes.
Not necessarily the styling or the.
Correct.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, which kind of makes sense because, I mean, if you had opened your own boutique, you need to have that business savvy and knowledge. So it kind of makes sense that this is where you have pivoted.
Now, what I want, maybe you can make this happen, Morgan, is I want a database with SKUs of every single movement out there ever, listed by upper body, pulling, pushing, lower body, pulling, pushing, all that stuff into a database, so where I could type in like upper body push and like 100 movements come out. That would make my life easier with programming.
Yes, I think you told me about this.
Yeah, we have a friend, Amari. I haven't seen him in a little bit.
I did see him last week. He's alive.
Okay. He made something similar to this, but when I told him about this, I think it was out of the scope of what he was trying to do. But this is what I want. Any of you software people out there, I would purchase this. I would be willing to bet a lot of gym owners would. Go make this for me. Contact me at Bradley Schneller on Instagram. Just shoot me a DM. I'm cool with people sliding into my DMs. It's all good. Oh, so where were we? All right, so you're in CrossFit now.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
So you were working out in like a friend of a friend's home gym setup. When did you transition into a gym? Was it when you were in New York or still in Austin?
So when I moved to New York, I was too cheap to pay for a CrossFit gym membership. So I did a lot of park workouts, and that's when I started blogging about fitness and what I was eating. And so I would go to the East River Park in East Village or Owl's Head Park in Bay Ridge. And that's where I would do my workouts. And then I joined a gym in Bay Ridge for my first gym in New York. And then it led to CrossFit Spot, where I trained with Carrie Pierce. And then that led to CrossFit Queens, where we trained for regionals. Regionals was our goal for that year, and we trained so hard that we ended up at the games.
Yeah. And in all of that, you started coaching at some point, right?
Yes.
When did that happen?
So towards the end I was at Ralph Lauren for about 4 years. Towards the end of that 4-year mark, which I guess was 2016, I started part-time coaching and training with like Outlaw programming and Invictus programming. And that's when I really started getting into the competition programming stuff.
It was Bonnie Blair. Bonnie Blair. She was the speed skating champion. So she won 5 gold medals and 1 bronze medal.
Nice.
I'm just throwing that out there. It took me a while, and anyway.
We got there.
Yeah, I need a producer. That's why when Emily sits at the desk when we do double interviews like this, like it helps. I can be like, Emily, can you look this up for me? Like if I'm Joe Rogan and that's
You need that, and then she needs a whiteboard. She can just write
Yeah,
it.
she can write it. That'd be great.
Yeah.
That's what we need.
Yeah.
All right. So, like, what ultimately made you decide, like, hey, I want to really get nitty and gritty here with my training and go from just exercising to full throttle, let's go for the games?
I think it just came from just wanting more of a challenge in my everyday programming. I think that, Outlaw and Invictus, they were long workouts. And at the time, a lot of gym programming was like a little bit of a strength portion, but then it was only like maybe an 8 to 10 minute workout, and I just wanted more.
Right.
And so with a couple of friends on Saturdays, we would do Outlaw every Saturday, and then Invictus throughout the week. And it was just really challenging. And then the guy that programmed for CrossFit Spot was very talented and is always making things up, and it just keeps you interested.
What year did you start training in this fashion with volume?
I would say 2016. Yeah.
I feel like that was the upward trend then.
2015, I guess.
Everybody was volume,
Yeah.
like across the board. I feel like that's reversed some. What do you think?
I think so. I think people have gone from a lot of heavy weightlifting towards the more agility type stuff.
Yeah, interesting. So, what do you think were some of the biggest differences between, or like for the people listening? Because we always talk about this, like training for fitness, training for life is not training for competitive sports. Mm-hmm. The CrossFit Games is competitive sports. So, like when you try to emulate a games athlete or someone like you have to do other things as well. And I don't think people realize like what goes into it.
Yeah.
Can you kind of like give everybody a peek behind the curtains on like maybe the side effects of training the way you did, like the recovery time? What sacrifices did you have to make? Those types of things.
Yeah. So the idea behind CrossFit is basically that you are thrown a workout and you can do it no matter what you're given, and you kind of go into it with a blindfold with some of those workouts. So first of all, you train for movements throughout the entire year that isn't even included in the CrossFit Open.
Right.
Like, for example, legless rope climbs and handstand walks, which now handstand walks have been incorporated into the Open. But you're training for regionals all year long, or you're training for the games all year long. There's no regionals anymore. But that is different. My day-to-day, a lot of members here have asked me if I train every day here, and I was like, well, yeah, because the amount of volume I do here is not even what compared to what I used to do. And so we would train probably 2 to 3 hours a day, and then Saturday and Sunday was usually 2 a day. Sometimes in the morning it was a track practice, and then we would have swimming practice on top of all of that. So, and if you've ever swam, you know that you're always really hungry after that. So even eating becomes a job because you have to make sure that you're eating enough for your energy level. And then for recovery, I hate stretching. I hate taking the time to stretch.
Me too, 100%.
Hate it.
I can't even do a
We're all
split.
really guilty of this.
So I usually would have a massage probably once a week. There was a person in New York who did a little bit more than deep body tissue. And then I also saw a chiropractor who also did more like ART work, active release therapy.
And just a heads up, our massage therapists at Massage Roux, Jamie and Glenn, they both do athletic stretching as well. So if you don't want to stretch, they will stretch you. Sorry.
Side note.
This was brought to you by Massage Roux.
Yeah. And then I found a place in Brooklyn, like a Russian bath place that
Oh, I'm
wet
interested.
Yeah.
Russian
was
bath.
waiting
Was
for
there
that.
tile everywhere?
Yes, there was.
Oh, perfect.
They had a wet lounge membership that you could pay for The wet lounge included a sauna, ice bath, hot tub, and a steam room. So
Boom, boom, boom.
I usually just went from the sauna to the ice bath over like probably 3 to 4 times.
I feel like
2 or 3
Bradley's
times
like
a week.
picturing trying to like attach something to the side of the gym to allow us to
I
start
love
to
it.
do this.
I would, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the only reason I haven't just filled up my tub with ice is because it would take a lot of ice, and then it's just me.
Yeah.
It's a waste of time.
Yeah.
So how did the like? I mean, I'm sure it was a lot of fun.
Yes.
At what point were you like, fuck this?
Probably like a month into the games, because like I said, our only goal was to make it to regionals, and that was a lot of work just leading up to regionals.
And you're like, we did it.
And it was so fun to like celebrate with the team afterwards and after every event where we did really well, better than we thought we would. And then it was just, all right, head down, start training again for another 2 to 3 months before August. So I think it was just probably a month before the games where I was just ready to just have a little bit more of a normal life. But it was still fun.
Yeah, you did it.
It was a great experience. I
Right.
wouldn't change it for anything.
Yeah, absolutely. How like mentally taxing was it? Putting that much effort into a singular task.
It was a lot. I think, I tell a lot of people that even I felt like my job, my coaching, I was so tired to coach that I was almost like a robot coaching. And I take a lot of pride in what I do and helping other people. That's why I became a coach, because I dropped into so many gyms where people weren't getting enough attention. And that was hard for me to realize that I just didn't even have enough energy for coaching. Because, you're training 15 to 20 hours a week, plus I was coaching probably around 30 hours a week at the time.
Good God.
And then,
Yeah.
That's a lot.
you have to cook. Like, you just don't have time for friends. You don't have time. Like, you're just friends with your teammates that whole period of time.
Yeah. I
Which
mean,
is fine.
you listing off what went into training, I think what people they know it if you stop and make them think about it, but they don't realize that wasn't your job. You weren't
Right.
getting paid for
Yeah, you
that.
don't
And
get
in
paid.
addition to your training to get to that level, like you said, food also becomes a job, and your recovery becomes a part of it as well. And then that takes up as much time, if not more, than your actual paying job.
Yeah.
What was your favorite memory though?
I think it was right after regionals when we realized we were going to the games. And I think anytime we finished a workout, because we went in, we had a strategy for every single workout, and you have butterflies the second that the time or the clock starts, and then once you're super successful and you're done with that, it's so exciting, and just celebrating with your team that way, I think.
I remember you telling me that the games was kind of a letdown.
Yes.
Can you elaborate on that?
So the hardest workout and the workout I hated the most was the very last workout, where it was female, 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 male, 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 and you were carrying your teammates on stretchers, and then you had to do burpees over a haystack.
I remember this.
With your weighted vest on. And
Guys.
I think a lot of it was just anxiety, and they didn't tell anyone that there was wire on top of the hay holding these haystacks together. And they didn't tell anyone that they needed to be wearing pants that covered your shins. So I do have a photo of my shins afterwards, but it was just like, I didn't want to jump over it. Every single time I got up from the burpee, I didn't want to jump up onto that haystack. But other than that, I think it's a testament to our training. I think that because our training was so rigorous, that the workouts, in my opinion, were on the easier
Stupid.
side.
Yeah.
I'll say it. I don't care.
Well, the stupidest workout we had, I feel like Dave Castro forgot to program.
I bet you he did.
Workout. I forget which events was like which number specifically, but you had the big bobsled, and it was just take it down the field, push it back, and that was it. There was no other element to it. No like handstand walking, and
Right.
that was just it.
No strategy, no skill, just go.
Now, I mean, it would be different if there were like a bunch of events that were, because I've always said that I think they should make the games more, first of all, audience friendly. Because I've been 3 or 4 times watching as an audience member, and it is boring as fuck because you watch the same thing over and over and over and over again. Now, like, the exciting part is when it gets to like the final 10, and it's very
Right.
clear delineation between who's the badasses and who's not, right? But like some of the team stuff, it's just individual workouts. Now there's 4 of us.
Yeah.
There's no strategy involved, or was there? I don't know.
I mean, I think there is strategy when it comes to your teammates, but I think the thing that sucks as a spectator is that you're watching these people on the rowers. You have no idea what they're really rowing or what they're doing. Or I think as a spectator, you don't understand the amount of work that goes into training for something like that.
I always thought
Yeah.
they should involve more graphics, and so like I don't think. I mean, what is there, about 12 to 15 events at the games?
Yeah.
So I think you could take 6 or 7 of them and have them be Olympic style workouts, and then the other 8 typical CrossFit workouts. Okay. But for the Olympic style workouts, you could have a graphic up there that's like, here's a 400-meter run, and then have like world records
Yeah. That would be
for
a good idea.
Olympic athletes. And then you could have like a line like they do at racehorses where you see the person ahead, like it's a graphic on the screen of here's the world record for the Olympics, here's the CrossFit Games athlete. And you do that for every event, even with a row, like the best, 2,000 meter time or whatever. And you can see how close, I mean, obviously
Yeah.
these games athletes are not going to be the best at any single one of these things, but how close they are in every single category. And I think that would truly show the amazing athleticism of all these people.
Yeah, and I think that it also will go to show the point that CrossFit is basically strength and conditioning and prepares you for anything and everything.
Right.
It would just give a spectator more of an idea of that.
It would be more TV ready. Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
or,
look,
well, even pulling in
guys,
for
come
those
on.
type of events, pulling in people that are experts in other fields
Right.
to talk about what is going on in that event, because I would rather listen to like a sprinter, talk about what goes into this event, and I believe that he is a valid source of information.
Ryan
and
Lochte when they're in the pool.
Yeah, but like, why not? That would be so interesting
It would
to
be
get
really
their
cool.
perspective on these CrossFitters doing that,
Yeah, I'd be totally down. So I don't know if everyone knows this, but you're also a champion in weightlifting, correct?
Yes. Nationally ranked Olympic weightlifter.
All right. What rank?
I ranked, I think it was 15th. Yeah, 15th in the 69 kilo weight class.
Wow.
And when did that happen?
I'm getting my years all mixed up. But,
That's a weird coincidence. I am number 278,000 in the 80-something kilo class. I made that up.
2018.
2018,
Yeah.
15th. That's impressive.
Yeah.
So you finished the games and
Yeah.
then shifted gears.
Yes, I needed a little bit of a break from all the CrossFit training. So I started into Olympic weightlifting. Plus, I just wanted a new challenge. And this one was not a team sport. So this one is more individual, which gave me a different perspective on training. But I still knew I wanted to compete.
What was that perspective?
Yeah.
Just that it's you and you're dependent on you. You can't really depend on anyone else.
Right.
With the CrossFit Games and being on a team, you have opportunities to rest.
Right.
But Olympic weightlifting is also very different in the sense that like you are on the stage you have a max of a minute to make your lift. and you either do it or you don't.
I would say there is less margin of error in Olympic weightlifting than in the CrossFit Games.
Yes.
You can make mistakes.
The
Yes.
thought that comes to my mind is in that scenario, there's nowhere for you to hide.
Right.
No.
You can hide a little bit on a team with other people, but when it's you up there for a minute, it's hit or miss.
Was the training any different? More grueling, less grueling, same amount of time?
I don't think that, I mean, in hindsight, I don't think it was as fun, only because I'm drilling so much of like a pull. I'm doing like a million pulls a day.
How much time per day did you spend with the empty bar?
I would say probably the first at least 30 minutes of every training
Yes.
session.
People don't realize that. They want to do weight, they want to do weight,
Yep.
they want to do weight, and they
And they
don't
wanna put
realize
it all on
how
their bar
long
right
you
away.
guys spend with the empty bar just making movements perfect.
Yeah.
So
That's what I think I was telling someone in the gym recently, that it's all muscle memory, and that it's better to do no weight or less weight than it is to go heavier.
yeah, I forget, like when you do the Olympic weightlifting certification, they spend pretty much the entire day with PVC pipes. You don't really pick up the weight, but just holding the position with a PVC pipe over the course of a day makes you sweat your ass off. It's
Yeah.
pretty crazy.
It does.
So like I can't imagine just drill after drill after drill with the empty bar, what that feels like, but that's what you have to do.
Yeah.
This reminds me of the saying, because you said drilling muscle memory. I'm going to throw it out there. The saying is practice makes perfect. That is not true. It's 100% not true. Perfect practice makes perfect.
Yes.
Yeah.
So just for all those people out there, especially in the music world. I'm out there. So anyway, so do you have any goals now?
Athletically, not really. I think I just wanted to take a step back and have fun with the community and everyday class.
You came to the right place.
Yes. And, I did qualify for the 2020 American Open Finals for Olympic weightlifting, but I was planning on doing that for fun, but I don't think it's really happening.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But for now, I'm just having fun training.
Awesome. So how is, you mentioned having fun training right now. Like, how is that different than before? And I mean, obviously, you're not training for 3 hours every day. You're not training towards a specific goal, but, how has your mindset changed?
Just taking myself a little less seriously
Right.
and trying to change my mind to just have fun. Because I think it's easy to be competitive and to compare yourself to other people, especially when you are a competitive athlete.
Right.
There are always times where I would be comparing myself to my teammates, or they were comparing themselves to me. And it's very mentally taxing to be in that mindset for so long.
I think it's interesting you talking about that, because it's part of CrossFit that I think is detrimental a little bit to the community, where has the competitive nature of it pushed the sport for so long, and it brought us, but the CrossFit community to new heights, and like really focused it in the fitness world. But at the same time, it's something that can pull down the community as well. And so it's like trying to find, like, being competitive in the moment and then letting it go.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
On a micro level, I would imagine at every gym, there are people, the weekend warriors, that get really wrapped up in what the whiteboard says. And it completely affects their mood and training and how they show up each day.
My favorite are the scaled people that let the whiteboard get so wrapped up. Okay, sorry.
Well, I think I even told Sarah one time that what I loved about Olympic weightlifting was that people were just so encouraging and want you to do good for yourself. They want you to succeed at the lifts that you're doing.
That's awesome.
Whereas, like, CrossFit is just way more comparing yourself and being competitive with each other. So it's a very different mindset.
I think it's because, like, people refine their youth with CrossFit in terms of, like, I used to be involved in youth sports.
Yeah.
wasn't for a while. Now I am again. And now all of a sudden, like, maybe I'm just a normal guy, right? Like, I'm a normal guy with a couple of kids and I have a normal job. But now I'm going to put my self-worth in this workout today.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's a recipe for disaster.
There's a reason so many of our members were really competitive athletes growing up, whether it was in high school or even on the college level. And I think people miss that. But if you're not in a healthy like mindset,
Right.
then it gets really easy to put too much into it.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'll be the first. I will compete against anyone, anywhere, and anything. Like, everybody knows that. But I'm also, people are like, oh, what's going to happen if Jonathan beats you? Which he won't. He never will. Okay. But
We're not competitive.
if he did, I'm like, I'd shake his
Yeah.
hand and say congratulations and move on. Like, awesome. You know,
Yeah.
it is what it is.
I don't think I've told you this, but the day you were trying out the gym, I didn't know what you were going to be like.
We
And
knew that Morgan was a games athlete.
Yeah. Bradley told me when you were coming, so he was like, show up to class, like let's bring our A game, let's have like a full class, lots of fun, which, like, whatever, it was gonna be that way anyway. And I show up and he suddenly starts setting up stuff and he's like, I'm putting Morgan right next to you. And I was like,
I also
what?
changed.
I almost like
I changed
got
the workout
so
because I didn't think it
nervous.
was good enough for Morgan.
Yes. And then once we started working out next to each other, I was really relieved, but I had no idea, just knowing your background. I was
Yeah.
like, oh man, is this going to be super competitive? Am I
Fun
gonna
times
kill
at Ridgemont
myself?
High.
Yeah.
I was very nervous.
So, you know, speaking of like how you transition to where you're, you say, yeah, exercise for fun. Okay. I, for one, definitely feel like CrossFit is in a different place than it was a decade ago. You know, what are some of the big differences you see?
Well, I think that, you know, if you look at a lot of the CrossFit Games or regionals workouts from 10 years ago, CrossFit kind of went above and beyond that in probably like 5 years ago.
Right.
3 to 5 years ago. The workouts got a lot harder. And I think now people are just focusing on more agility, like I was saying, and then still incorporating the weightlifting and the gymnastics, but just at a safer level, if that
Right.
makes sense. Like the Olympic lifts, for example, in CrossFit, lighter, maybe just with the dumbbell. There's a lot more dumbbells within CrossFit now, which they introduced at the games 3 or 5 years ago.
Right.
So I think it's shifted a little bit.
More
in
of a
that
focus,
sense.
I would say, now on health and wellness.
Yeah, more health and wellness.
I would say, I mean, I have the least experience here. I've only been doing CrossFit for like 4.5 years, but just since I got into it, I noticed a definite shift in seeing a lot of athletes that are former games competitors doing their own programming that's very focused on like look good, feel good versus compete hard.
Yeah.
You know?
I think I personally feel that there can be a mixture of the two. Like, I love having some workouts that's like, let's go get this, you know? But at the same time, you can't have that type of workout every single day.
No.
You know, I mean, you are not, by you, I mean, anyone listening to this podcast, okay, are not a competitive athlete, right? So, like, you have a job. You have other obligations. You cannot be, let's go get after this every single day. You will wind up hurt.
Exactly.
Well, because if you're not a competitive athlete, chances are when you leave the gym, if you go that hard every day, you don't have the opportunity to recover like you
No.
need to. Like, if you're a parent, you're not going home with your 2 kids and like, sorry, you got to go get a massage and I'm going to go do
Right.
an ice bath and go to this. Like, you have,
Take a nap.
yeah.
Right, right. The
Absolutely.
mentality, though, is 100% different in terms of just that the community of people who do CrossFit is so much bigger now than it was 10 years ago. When you're looking at 10 years ago, it was like, you know, law enforcement officers, former special military people, you know, those types of people, former, you know, really high-end athletes, that were doing it. And so you could take it to those kinds of extremes where now it's a broader spectrum. And so it's almost like you have to adjust to the people that are doing the workouts. I would imagine. And I just feel like CrossFit has adjusted over time. I think it's a good change. You know, I think there can be a combination of, like I always talk about, why did you get into fitness in the first place? To look good, feel good. Well, you don't look good, feel good if you feel like you got slammed down a flight of stairs every single day.
Yeah.
Well, I think with these, the other stuff brought into it, you can train other parts of your body that will benefit you in the typical CrossFit workouts.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I have.
Which again goes back to being healthier.
Right. Like my first 5 years, I don't think I bench pressed at all.
Yeah.
And now I do some sort of bench press, floor press, chest press, whatever, at least 2 times a week. Yeah. The funny thing that happens is now I can crush push-ups like it's my job.
Yeah. You know? Or I will say we haven't, especially since we came back from quarantine, had a lot of like super heavy gymnastics workouts. And we had one, I think it was Friday when you were gone. There were like handstand push-ups and toes to bar and pull-ups all in the same workout. And we hadn't done anything like that in a long time. But I know for me and quite a few other people, it was like we had missed a beat because of the other training we had been doing. And we weren't doing those movements, but everything else we had done had us physically fit and healthy to do those things.
Mm-hmm. And that's what we've talked about too before, is that a lot of those gymnastics movements, kipping and the toes to bar and that sort of thing, it's a skill, and you don't, once you learn it, you're not going to lose it per se.
Right.
So it's better to train the strict movements.
Right.
Where you're going to maintain that strength.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right, let's end on this, Morgan. Give us 2 fitness tips and 2 fashion tips. F and F.
Stop.
Fitness tip number 1, have fun.
Okay, I like it. That's always a good one. Because if you're not having fun, you'll probably quit.
Yes.
Yep.
And number 2, eat well to
I love those.
Emphasize all the work that you're doing in the gym.
So you're saying I need to focus on my nutrition?
Yes.
Wow.
You get a lot more out of it.
We didn't put her up to this, I promise. We did not put Morgan up to this.
We did not say this at all.
Fashion tips. Fashion tips. Fashion tips.
I feel like all of this has just been leading up to this moment for you.
Well, my go-to is black jeans. I love black jeans, which is not very common, I feel like, in the South. But good black jean.
Yeah, we talked about this.
Yeah,
I
but
think it's a good one.
a lot more. There's a lot more white jeans.
Yes.
Yes.
I like black jeans.
No, black jeans should be a staple. Like you should
I think Emily owns some black
thinner.
jeans. Emily has these black jeans she'll wear with black heels, black shirt, and a black leather jacket, and I'm like, ow.
Yeah, you can dress it up, you can dress it down.
Brad asked Emily and I one day, like, what color do you feel the most confident in? And both of us said black.
Yeah.
That's great.
I was just thinking I need to get some new black skinny jeans. Anyway, go ahead. So that's tip number 1. Black jeans. Wear them.
And then tip number 2, it's not always easy to just buy the cheapest thing because a lot of times it falls apart. I'd say invest in some staple pieces.
Yeah, I like it. So like 5 to 10 really good things that you just put in your wardrobe rotation, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
I love
have
it.
a really great black leather jacket I've had for years.
Never goes out of style.
Never goes out of style.
Yep.
I was not sorry I paid a couple $100s for it.
Ooh. I love it. Yes.
True.
All right, y'all. Morgan, can you tell everybody where they can find you on social media?
At Morg Pitch, MorgPitch.
Solid.
Yeah.
Awesome. And you can find us at Roux_Fitness on Instagram. Also, make sure you rate, review, and subscribe to the show. 5 stars only, kind words only.
Only nice things.
Only nice things. If you don't like the show, just message me. We can meet in the back alley somewhere. Yeah, slide into my DMs. And then make sure to share us with a friend because we're super nice and cool. So, all right, y'all. Peace.
Bye.
Bye.